BYU 76 and Kansas 68 is our final score. Mark Pope will be popping on the headset momentarily. Greg and Mark with you as BYU will now head home happily and get ready for TCU on the weekend. BYU will do so with an 8-7 record in Big 12 play. That's currently tied for 5th. And it's tied for 5th with Texas Tech. Should they fall to Texas tonight, Texas leading 69-50 late in Lubbock, and Texas would improve to 7-8. They'd be out of that 5th place tie. So the 5th place tie teams would be Texas Tech, TCU, and BYU all at 8-7 in conference play. And to be an upper tier team, when you're 15 games into an 18-game Big 12 schedule and you're picked to finish 13th by the coaches before the year, not too bad, Mark.
Now I start to get greedy. I mean, I'm never happy, and I don't know what the top 4 records are. If there's any chance to sneak in that top 4, that would be a double bye, and that would be very important. Obviously, you have to do a lot of work in the last couple of weeks here, but this was a big win.
BYU, again, bouncing back from its most recent setback with a W, and it comes ending Kansas's 19-game home court win streak. They were 7-0 in league at home and 14-0 at home on the season. Again, Bill Self loses an average of less than 1 home game per year, and this is the one for this year. BYU head coach Mark Pope is popping on the headset, and we are so happy to welcome him to the broadcast and say to him, as so many have already done, congratulations on a milestone win for this BYU basketball program at one of the college basketball cathedrals of this country.
Yeah, wow, huh, guys? I mean, first of all, so much love for Kansas. This venue, for every BYU fan, you have to find a way to get into this gym when we play one time. It is really special, and it's like actually nowhere I've been. It just has its own feel and its own uniqueness, and so we're super, and the history is incredible, and so we're just grateful to play in the game, and then couldn't be more proud of the way our guys battled, and the way they fought, and the way they hung together, and the way they kept their composure. It was a really special night for the Cougs. Of
course, the way it turns out affects how you feel about it, but the experience, the Allen Fieldhouse experience, was, I'm sure, everything you hoped it would be for your guys.
Yeah, and it's interesting. You walk into this gym and it's deafeningly loud, and people are just packed on top of each other, on top of us, and playing against one of the all-time greatest coaches in college basketball, in one of the meccas of college basketball, against a great team that hasn't lost at home this year and maybe in the last 30 years, I don't know, and we had a bunch of guys. I'll tell you, I told the guys in the locker room after the game, we're just, and come follow me right now. We've just passed some scriptures that talk about God consecrating our afflictions, and we talked about that after the game in the locker room, just in the sense that sometimes really tough things can happen to us, and we don't understand why, and then Heavenly Father just turns them into something even beyond our wildest dreams. And I can't go into detail about some of our guys, but our guys got to witness that tonight with really this consecration of our afflictions, and I'm grateful. It's we're a faith-based team, and we got to experience one of the really special moments of being a faith-based team tonight.
Well, congrats, Coach. I mean, that was a special thing to watch. I'm happy for you and the guys, and for BYU fans. I'm just curious. When you're thinking about this game right now, what were some of the big moments? What were some of the big plays that come to your mind right now?
Yeah, so I was proud of how the guys hung in there. Their switching was problematic for us. There's a bunch of ways we attack switches. We actually never got to live ball slips tonight. We kept talking about it. We just couldn't get to it. I know it's technical terminology, but and we ended up boomerang a lot in the first half, which is you kind of isolate the switch and then you get a live ball back and you get to play, and we were just settling for really uncomfortable, uncharacteristic shots for us. And we did a bad job exploiting that early on, and we did a much better job exploiting it in the second half, especially down the stretch. Foose helped us a lot, kind of get to a short roll game and get to a post game, and just his physicality. We didn't really get in much transition offense, but we liked a lot of what we were feeling. We just shot the ball poorly in the first 30 minutes. Defensively, I thought our guys were tough all night long. This Hunter Dickinson is such a problem. He's the only post player we've ever played against it on either the right or the left block, over his right shoulder or his left shoulder on either block is essentially over 1 point per possession. He's just a problem. There's not even a way to steer your guys, and he's super effective playing out of doubles. I thought our guys were great in terms of their anticipation of being there on the baseline double team, and then really our first pass out was exceptional, so I was really proud of that. So that's an overview of the way I felt in the game. Clearly guys had epic moments. Jax had to step in at the one for long portions of this game, and I thought he performed wonderfully. Dallin, of course, down the stretch made some huge plays. I thought Noah on the defensive glass late was incredible, coming up with the game-winning rebounds. There's so much credit for so many guys to go around. Even Keegan Brown probably gave the greatest pregame speech that we've ever had in the locker room before we came out on the floor. So everybody made a difference tonight.
Tell people who Keegan Brown is. Keegan
Brown is our Director of Analytics and Strategy, and he is, if you can imagine, a numbers cruncher. He's a very stoic. He's a perfect foil for me because he just is about the data and the numbers, and he doesn't get swayed by emotion. And then he gave one of the most emotional, heartfelt pregame speeches that involved some vandalism of his own personal property before the game, and it was really special for our guys to see. He worked so hard for us, and he on purpose as part of his job stays so even-keeled, and for our guys to see his emotion tonight was really special. It was just one of the 1,000 special moments tonight.
It wasn't the optimal whistle for some of the night, but this was a very physical night from start to finish. There were 43 combined fouls in this game, and there were more than 50 free throws taken in this game, and it seemed like it reflected the pulsating atmosphere in this building tonight.
Yeah, this is we're at that point in the season, guys. We have 3 games left, and everybody in this league is feeling it. Everyone is. And the thing is that we just came to Kansas and played in this game, and then we're going to go home, and that game's going to be bigger, and then we're going to go back on the road, and that game's going to be even bigger. And we're just in that season where there's never going to be a time where the volume dials down. It's just going to keep going up incrementally. And I'll add on. Clearly, I'm excited and talkative tonight. One of the best moments of the night was, there's a little conversation with the referees with just, 5 minutes left, guys, give or take. And there was Coach Robinson jumped in and probably saved me. And then I went and sat down in the huddle. And what was really beautiful, my guys were 100% composed. They were not rattled. And we took a breath, and the guys stayed really, really focused. And they didn't even let, that distract them, and it was in that moment in the huddle where I was worried about coming back to the huddle and be like, okay, I gotta calm the guys down and get them back focused. But when I got there, I'm like, oh, these guys are already locked in and focused and laser focused. That doesn't guarantee you a win, but it guarantees that you're going to go be totally focused on the moment and executing what the moment requires, and they did it tonight.
My brother Devin texted me to wish you congratulations. Russ Larson was here at the game. You saw him earlier, and I know in one sense it's the next conference game, but do you kind of get an appreciation for how big a win this was in this environment for this program to be here finally and then to perform so well?
Yeah, I'm just happy. Listen, this has been clearly we have so much growing to do. We're going to get better and better and better. But this, starting from just walking into this building, which is such a special place, and this is one of, 2 or 3 or maybe 4 meccas of college basketball. This is the birthplace of college basketball in some real senses, and nobody comes in here and wins. And just the opportunity to come play in this environment was really special. For our guys to perform the way they did was really special. And then on a bigger scale, you think about Cougar Nation has been waiting for 100 years to be able to make these venues a part of who we are. And these guys are, these players are doing a masterful, and the staff, my assistant coaches and everybody on the staff are doing a masterful job of trying to prove to the world that we actually belong here.
BYU defeats number 7 Kansas by a score of 76-68 here tonight at Allen Fieldhouse. BYU's first ever victory at this venerable venue. Let's get to the Economics Partners valuable stat of the game, brought to you by Economics Partners. Whether for tax, financial reporting, or strategic purposes, when your business needs a valuation, the right partner is Economics Partners. Learn more at econpartners.com. I'm actually going to turn this one over to Coach Pope. Coach Pope, what do you think tonight's most valuable stat was for your team in this game?
Oh, man, guys, I haven't even looked at the stats. Holding them under 70 was really important for us. We haven't done that a lot, and really proud of Coach Fennell and the entire staff and all the players for making a concerted effort to really, really do that. To come into this venue and be a 7-turnover team is, you think about the contrast of us this year from last year, and that's one of the things that is so beautiful about experience that I'm really excited about. We got back over 10 made threes, and it looked like it was going to take us 50 to get over 10 made threes. But the guys made shots down the stretch, so I'm really proud of that. So there's so much I'm proud of. I think what I'm most proud of, though, guys, is probably not a stat. It's we're like I keep saying this, and I hate to. I don't know how it sounds, but there's faith infused throughout our team. There's faith of the institution of BYU, and there's faith in our guys have for each other, and there's faith. We talk about urgency and faith all the time. You think about Dallin Hall tonight in the print media. He's just like, hey, we just kind of go about our job, and they talked about some of those late shots. He's like, and then when the opportunity arises, you just proceed with faith. And then what we do is we proceed with faith, and then we're willing to accept God's plan for us. This urgency and faith stat, if you want to call it, it lets you play with confidence because you're just so confident that God's plan for us is going to be the most important thing, and so you can go with all the urgency you have. And I don't want to sound like I'm preaching a sermon, but this is just infused in our team right now, and that doesn't guarantee us wins or losses. It just guarantees that we're going to compete with all the heart we have and all the emotion we have, and that we're going to we're going to be even more urgent than we ever could because we're not wasting any energy on the anxiety or trying to waste less energy on the anxiety. And I think you saw that tonight, and I would credit that with a lot of how our guys stayed so composed. You
guys followed your loss on Saturday by having a faith-filled Sunday, by going home and taking a little bit of time. Looking back on it, the way you ran it, do you think it might have helped your approach to the second game of this swing?
Well, thanks to Joey Johnson, it was a no-brainer because we had to get home for Spence to see his son. And so that made it a super easy decision. But all the guys kind of felt like, hey, since we're getting back early, let's go home. And I'll tell you what. These Sundays are pretty special to us. We're the team in the league that it ends up being a one-day prep every Tuesday, and I'm believing more and more that our prep on Sunday is probably more important than our prep on Monday, and I just think that that's probably true. And again, it doesn't guarantee wins or losses, but I'm just a believer in that, and so it was the right call for our guys, and we're fortunate that that we kind of have these guidelines to follow.
And you're speaking of personal prep on Sunday.
100%. Personal and spiritual rejuvenation and prep. I think it's the Sabbath is the Sabbath, and it's a day that's given to us for a very specific purpose, and I'm grateful for it. So again, I'm super proud of our guys and really, really grateful.
One of the things I love about this win, Coach, is that everybody made big plays, whether it's obviously Dallin and Jackson hit some big shots. Noah was great on the boards late.
Yes.
Fusini Traore, he had a couple down low where he could have shot it, but he kicked it out for open three. He had 5 assists.
Yep.
I can go down the list, but everybody stepped up and made big plays for you. It's cool.
You think about it, Ali, this Dickinson is such a problem, and Ali and Foos were able to be as physical with them as they could all night long, and it's a little bit of a 2-on-1 effort, and that makes it complicated. I thought their physicality was really special. Dallin and Trevin and Spence had moments that were important. And listen, Trey Stewart's minutes are really important to us, guys. They're really important. There's not a lot of minutes, but we probably don't win this game without Trey Stewart. And so it's, we're getting contributions from Richie Saunders, played so incredibly hard the whole night. And so it literally is every single guy on our team. We can't do it without him. And we got a long road ahead of us. We got like I said, Saturday is going to be a bigger challenge than today was. And that's why this league is so spectacular, and that's why getting into, working our way, we're really on the cusp of postseason play, where every game gets bigger and every game gets bigger, and we're going to try and remain even-keeled and urgent and faithful as we proceed forward. And then we're going to hope for the best results.
Well, Mark Durant called tonight's game a movie, and it was a movie with a happy ending for Cougar Nation. And how about Cougar Nation? You had a lot of people. I don't know how they get in, because the building sold out every game, but they got in tonight and made you hear it.
So I hope Cougar Nation, anybody that's listening to this, I hope you know that you were represented. So we run out of the gym, and apparently a massive chorus of literally the Cougar fight song erupted, like the entire Cougar fight song. That is spectacular. And I had people, a family that's just moved here from, there was a mass of people, but just the people I ran into, family from Singapore, people from all over the state of Kansas and Oklahoma and Dallas and Utah. And we understand how blessed we are to have the opportunity to play for such an extraordinary fan base, and part of it is because we're all in this together. We're all scratching and clawing and trying to stay alive and above water together, and we couldn't do it without the fans that were here, and we're grateful for all the fans back home. We can't wait to get back into Marriott Center on Saturday.
Saturday night, BYU and TCU, thrilling night. Glad we could all be a part of it with you. Again, congrats to you and the boys, and we'll see you back in town.
Thanks, G. Appreciate you. Thanks, Mark.
All right, thank you. That is Coach Mark Pope.